Shine to Inspire is a podcast aimed at listening and responding to the voices of our team and our community. Wellness, education, and entrepreneurship will be at the forefront. Whatever the topic, we hope to inspire because we are one team, one shine, and no voice will be left behind. Now let's get into the real and relevant.
Hey guys, so welcome to the last Shine to Inspire podcast of the year. I have the unique honor of interviewing Danesha and Andre Smith, owner-operators for McDonald's. And so we'll start off by the first question. My first question is, from a corporate standpoint, from a business standpoint, why did you believe that investing in the community was the best approach, or was one of the things that you say, this is where we're going?
I guess I could kick this off. I'd say that investing in the community is really, really deep and personal for me. I mean, as you know, Colin, I am an Atlanta native, and we lived in Dallas previously, and things were going great. We were happy, everything was there. But I said, hey, if I have to move to somewhere, I want it to be Atlanta, somewhere where I can make an impact in our community. We've seen the problems, we know what's happening in this town, and what can I do to make a difference? And if I can start just by changing one person's life, then I feel like, you know what, I'm already starting in the right direction. So that's where it's deeply personal for me.
Good. Thank you for that. Focusing on the community is not a profitable thing. It is more charitable than anything. And this is a for-profit business. Why did you believe that, you know what, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and invest in these programs that can sometimes be very expensive? And so why did you feel that you know what, I'm going to invest? This is where I'm going to go.
Well, success for me, so I've said, it's not really measured in just profit. It's really measured in making a difference in someone's life. If I can get somebody to come in there that really had no hope to come into our organization and become super successful, then that to me is going to measure success for that profit. That's the profit. That's all the profit I'm going to ever need. So that's how I measure success.
Ooh, that's loaded. So you asked two questions. Let me answer the second one first, because I've chased the bag. And in chasing the bag for 2 decades, I still realized that wasn't the bag. Honestly, I was not fulfilled and not happy. I'm not saying that there weren't good moments, but the bag, and we're all chasing it to some degree, right? But it's got to be all put in perspective. And so for us, and for me in particular, I'm a statistic, or should be. Without getting into too much of who I am and where I came from, I had a great life coming up. Was I rich? No. Was I poor? No. But being a woman and being a black woman, and some of the circumstances that could have defined me, I clearly know what it's like to feel voiceless and to feel like I don't matter. And so even prior to us getting into community, Andre and I, we named our company. We didn't call it Smith. We didn't call it D&A, Danesha and Andre. We called it Shine. So it starts with just that, right? So when you think of Shine, you feel warm. You feel great, right?
You think of the light.
You think of light.
Yeah.
Right? Hope. And we even carried it a step further. Nobody does this by themselves. Nobody. And anybody that tells you they do is lying. And so for us, it started with Shine and being the light. And then when you think about the fact that we employ over 500 people, ourselves included, we think about it takes a team, right? Mothers and fathers talk about the village. For us in a business setting, it's about the team. So it's Shine, right? One team. One store doesn't do well, none of us do well. One team, one Shine. And the real piece on the community is no voice left behind. And that really comes from feeling like my voice didn't matter. chasing the bag and being really unfulfilled. Outwardly, yeah, it looks like you have it all together. Inwardly, you say, this is just not it. And Andre and I are so aligned. It's one of the reasons why he's my partner in love and life, because even though we're very different people, we've had very different upbringings, we have very different philosophies on life. We come together on what I believe are the most important things, right? And we stick together. We align. We're a team. We're a partner. And that's the way we run our company. We don't call them, our folks employees. We're partners in this journey. And why not community? It takes a community. So community for us is the village. That's why we do what we do.
Awesome. We talk about different pillars, different things that we stand on. Can you explain what those pillars are and what they mean to us as an organization?
For us, we call it the 3 E's. So education, I come from an education background, so just being able to put someone in that position to be able to further their education is deeply personal and just something that excites me, something I enjoy.
And education as well.
Education is wealth.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship. As you know, we dedicated an entire podcast last month just showcasing different people's entrepreneurial, activities and things that they want to do to further themselves. And we want to nurture that. We want to get entrepreneurs from all over the world to come to shine and say, hey, I can do it here. Also, we talked about energy, which is our fitness and wealth. You're only as good as your health, right? And that's going to be the most important thing. So, we get up every morning, we go to boot camp, we work out, and we encourage our team to come. We have a Fit to Shine where we come every month, and we do different types of fitness activities every month. So those are things we kind of do to kind of foster those things.
Awesome.
And listening to Andre, and I'm kind of sitting here trying to not be emotional about it, but there were times when I didn't think I would make it. So for me, it's 3 E's, but in a very sequential way. For me, it's the health piece first and the energy, right? And that mental, we are seeing it so much even now. It's like social media has made mental, it's taking center stage. And in some of my deepest, darkest moments, when I didn't feel like there was hope, I keep coming back to mindset and the things and the people and the experiences that pulled me through those deepest, darkest days. So for me, health is wealth. Health is not just what you see on the outside, but for me, it starts with what's on the inside, right? What is that spiritual and that mental foundation? And so many of us are struggling. You mentioned earlier when we were talking about Twitch, that threw me. I am so still bothered by that. And I don't even know the man. Right? Our first podcast, we decided to lead with mental health, specifically suicide. Andre and I have personally dealt with individuals, people that we love, that have just thought there was no hope, so why be here? So for me, energy is wellness. The second is education. And education, people think of, high school, college, postgraduate degrees. I mean, continual learning. Right. If you aren't learning, you aren't growing. If you're not feeling uncomfortable, you're not growing. And for us, we make people very uncomfortable in our company. Ask anybody. Very, very uncomfortable. Because it is about growth. And it's about educating yourself on how to be a better you, whatever that you is. And the big piece, which I get so much fulfillment, and it is hard, is being an entrepreneur and a business owner, because we get to do this. Andre and I have had some really tough times. There have been times when we've clicked on and we're like, oh my God, are we going to be able to pay payroll? Oh my God, are we going to be able to keep the lights on? And then we've had those months where we're like, man, maybe not going to get the Ferrari, but let's go take people out to dinner, right? And so for us, we have chosen hard. Our heart is through business ownership. we have a group of friends, and we like to chat it up, and we laugh. Sometimes they smoke cigars. Sometimes we have a little bit of clear stuff. But there's this saying out there, choose your hard. And I wish I had known that 2 decades ago. Life is supposed to be hard. Our hard is business ownership. And it's through entrepreneurship that we believe will have the greatest impact on community, right? That we get to demonstrate and role model for our children and what we didn't see necessarily growing up. And there's no shade. Our parents are amazing. My mother is amazing. I've chosen a different path. And that's where community, for me, it comes in. Being able to role model, right? Profit and loss statements. Being able to role model what it feels like when you can turn on lights and employ others and partner with others. So for us, it's the 3 E's. It's energy, AKA wellness, it's education, and it's entrepreneurship. There are many other ways, but that's our way to give back to the community.
Wow. I mean, so this leads into my next question.
Okay.
Usually the term is CSR, which is the corporate social responsibility. But I think, because we have coined almost everything, it would be our shine.
Yeah.
Corporate, our shine responsibility or social responsibility. So the SSR.
Yeah.
Right? How have we, in looking back in this year, how do you think we have stacked up to that social responsibility? From whether it is the things that we have done with one of our partners in Effect Fitness, to running up Stone Mountain, to taking our youth to Wakanda in some of our partner schools. What would you say, as the leaders of this organization, have we stacked up with that social responsibility?
Just starting off for me, I think it's been an amazing run. I mean, like you said, we've done everything from Wakanda to social activist, groups to energy wellness. I mean, we've done a lot, but I think we're really just getting started. We're scratching that surface, and we're going to take it to that next level, I think. But just this year in a review, it's been something that I think we've started with a good bang, and I really, really want to see where it can go. That's really what I'd like to see.
Awesome.
I agree with Andre. We're just getting started. We have a plan, and plans change, but so it depends on how you're measuring stack up, right? If you're measuring stack up by tons of money, tons of sponsorships and tons of this, or social media followers, no. If you are measuring that through, have we impacted lives? I've been on the other side of tears, of joy and pain. Absolutely. I think we have and are doing that. So it depends on how you're asking, have we stacked up? We have a plan, we have a strategy, right? Is there much more to do? Absolutely. But the work is never getting done. Remember, ... The work never gets done. But I think we got a good start. We have a great foundation. You're a shining example of a partner that is just really gets it and has made some tremendous inroads with some of the things that we want to accomplish and that we see ourselves doing. And we're learning along the way. We're getting input. We're getting feedback from multiple, folks and organizations. And we're staying hopefully very real and very relevant in the process and being true to who we are. And that is knowing what our customers want. And I'm not talking about just the customers that come to the door. I'm talking about the customers that are behind the counter. I'm talking about the 500 or so folks that get up every day. They leave their families to say, this is where I choose to be. If they say we're doing good, we're doing good. And I feel like we are on the right path.
Wow. So I remember almost 2 years ago, you both told me that the whole premise of you guys coming back was to give back. And I guess in my vision, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, they came back to give back. That's cute. But what does it really mean? And how do we effectuate that change in the restaurant?
Yeah.
And then the community.
Yeah.
And so when you really talk about, we came back to give back. We have actually started putting in some hard work. And so, how did that make you feel, and what impact do you think we have made in the restaurants? I know we talked about it a little bit, but I want to delve into what does that actually look like, and how does that feel?
I mean, definitely feels great. I mean, it feels like I'm actually starting to make a difference. You know, you don't always physically see it, but you know, if you have that one person that's come up to us and saying, you know what, I was just inspired by something you said, that right there to me makes a bigger difference than anything I've ever done. You know, I want somebody to come here and say, you know what, I was looking and I choose you, your company, because of what you guys are about. I choose you. And if we can get that, I've already felt like my job is not done, but it's been accomplished in a major way.
And do you, I think we talked about the village. Mm-hmm. Do you think that whole village premise, right, that conversation around village, that we are starting to create that shine village, that if we do the good and the hard work, people would start to embrace that shine mantra, or that shine motto of, you know, no one left behind. So do you think that is one of those things that you get out of on the long end, like it's a long-term vision?
I agree. I think it's like creating a large, huge family, like you said, a community. Like when people just feel like, you know what, this is my place. It's not just a job. It's somewhere that I choose to be. I want to be here. You know, I want someone to get out of bed even when it's freezing cold, miserable, and they're like, oh, do I have to come here? No, I'm excited to come here because of this community and my family. You know, that's what I want to see.
So you said came back to give back. Andre and I came up with, you know, so without getting into too many things that you do at McDonald's, right? When you lay out a plan, they have a process called a business review. And in that business review, you're really laying out what are you planning for the organization. And you're looking not just 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. And many people do this in life. You have a business plan in life. You have your life plan. You have this. We have a business plan. And that's where it's, you know, once or twice a year, whatever that is. And you're sitting down with some key folks to say, this is what we want to accomplish. And for us, came back to give back. We're in Atlanta. Like Andre mentioned before, we lived in Dallas, Texas, and we had a good life, a great life, actually. Atlanta's deeply personal for him. He's a native. I went to school here. And it is the culture, right? And so we said, listen, we could have restaurants anywhere. We chose Atlanta because we felt like our greatest need and the greatest work was in the market of Atlanta. So we talked about coming back to give back. So yes, we talked about sales, we talked about profit, we talked about operations, but the primary takeaway was we're going to do that by giving back. And we're going to give back through a lot of different channels. And when we do that, McDonald's, Chris K, Joe Erlinger, you're going to get sales, you're going to get profit, but more importantly, you're going to get a culture and an organization where people feel good. And that can't be bought. And that's what came back to give back is about for us. And the key way to do that is through our community. And I can't read the whole text because his truth can't be mine, but just to give you a glimmer, we got a text, Andre and I got a text, it must have been at 2 a.m. in the morning, recently, within the last week. And this individual said, Mr. Andre, and I'm gonna get emotional, just to see you, this is my family. This is the culture. That's what it is for us. And for me, it's about, if you've captured my heart, the rest will follow.
Wow.
That's what coming back to give back is about.
All right. And so we talked about just touching the surface. You know, that iceberg theory is so much more under
Absolutely.
the way. This is December We're now, heading into January. The budgets get tight in January, February. But we have made it a priority that we will push change in our communities.
Absolutely.
From our from all the way from our Shine to Inspire, which is what we're doing now, to bringing people from all over the world to come and work with us, right? To having a Push for Change event talking about nonviolence, to talking with the mayors of various cities about how we can help them affect change in their communities. Mm-hmm. Doing all of these things this year, what do you guys see the roadmap for next year? And what do you see from a company standpoint that we only touched the top of this iceberg? Where are we heading for next year?
I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, I definitely think we want to kick it off, like you said, with our global exchange program, getting people from other countries coming in here, learning the culture of Shine.
Global to Shine. I could not get it. We have a lot of Shine terminology. a lot of Shine. I remember how that went.
Right. MOMAC, where we want to get entrepreneurship. We really want to work with interns from Morehouse, get them into our culture and learn, from the ground up, how is it the everyday life of being a business owner, and how can they come and make their impact in the community doing the things that we do as well. So, I mean, that's just a few of the small things that I'm thinking about. I mean, there's going to be so much more, but that's just kicking off the first quarter. So where can we go from there? I don't know. It could be taking over the world. I don't really know, but I'm ready to see, and I'm excited.
People would look at this this podcast or listen, and they will say, why are they so heavily invested in getting people where they are? Is that even business? Does that even make sense? You talk about entrepreneurship. Wouldn't that hurt the business if you are creating more entrepreneurs? If you are educating people more, wouldn't that hurt the business because they get educated and leave? Mm-hmm. If you get them more healthier, why should they stick around? Why do you guys think that those 3 E's, the investment in those different areas, is so important for just the development of our organization and the communities we serve? Because some entrepreneurs say that wouldn't make sense. It's not even a good business model. No. But you guys stake your entire organization around it.
Yeah. And we will continue to. I don't see that changing. So you asked the question, what's next, is being true. And this podcast, one of the things we didn't use, I use the term real and relevant. And for anybody that is on social media, I don't care what platform it is, you see some of the people that never in a million years did you think they would ever be successful in the truest definition. And if it's one thing that's shining through, is people that are real, right? I won't name those names. You can guess who some of those people are. You pick any sport, you pick any entertainment, you pick any business setting. The people that resonate are people that are real. Real flaw. Now there are the people that seem pretty manufactured and fabricated. That's not our lane. We're about touching people that have real issues, and how do you move through that? Again, choose your heart, right? So for us, it's to continue to be real, deal with real issues, mental health. It's all that we're hearing, right now. Mental health, real. Relevant, things that people want to hear about. Like I struggled with why do people want to hear from me and from us, right? So my 20-year-old self, I would have been like, teach me how to make money. I'm telling you. Figure out what the passion is. The money will follow. I had a professor tell me that a long time ago, and at 20 I didn't get it. I'm like, well, whatever. Now I really, having lived it and living it, the true work is, what would I do for free? What would you do for free? That is your purpose. So I see us being real, continuing on that continuum, and dealing with things that are relevant. Whether it's chasing the bag. January, we're talking a lot about financial wellness, literacy. We've spent all of our money in December, and January is like, okay, get your money right and your mind right, because money is about mind. So that's the future. Yes, we have a lot of great programs in store, programming. There are a lot of great people and organizations we want to work with. Some of that stuff hasn't fully been developed, so I'm not comfortable talking about it today. But for me, as long as we stay true to the real and we stay true to the relevant, I think nothing can lead us. Nothing can lead us astray from where we're going and where we're growing and what impact we will continue to make. I hope we continue to make in the lives we continue to touch.
And so from what I'm hearing is those reinvestments in the people
Absolutely.
That we serve on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Every single day. I mean, you might look at us on paper, Harvard Business Case, for those of you that read the HBRs of the world, the Harvard Business Reviews, and have studied organizations, you would say, oh my gosh, really? They have that much in infrastructure? They have that much in overhead? It's because we've invested in people. And I'll use a term that McDonald's used to run great restaurants. Because it is about running great restaurants, but the foundation of that is, do people feel like they belong? Have we captured the heart where they want to perform?
Awesome. So, what I would say is the map that you guys have laid out, the strategy. I believe that from what I have heard and what I am seeing is that it is affecting people in ways that you would never imagine, right? Because not everyone has an owner operator that calls them and say, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? And how can I help you?
Right.
In achieving your goals? Why did you guys believe in this more linear strategy in running great restaurants and business, from not a top down?
Yeah, not at all.
But just a flat, I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I understand why was that strategy so important, and making sure that culture was inside of the business.
Just to start for me, I mean, you're only as good as the people that's next to you and is working for you, working with you. I mean, you don't work for me. We are partners in this together. And, I know the struggles in these restaurants. I go in there every day. It's tough. It's a lot of things coming their way. And I have to try to figure out what can I do to make it easier for these people. I know I have the right person because I chose these people, but what can I do to help them, make their job easier for them? That's what I want to do. I really want to be that partner for them and really, really help us achieve that win together so that we can all celebrate together.
Okay. That works.
I'm just not wired that way, to be hierarchical and structural and top down. I'm very strong personality, and I know you'll appreciate this, Coleman. If Beyonce walked in here right now, she puts her pants on the same way I do. She just has more notoriety and more money, and she's probably a little more talented than I am, right?
Right.
But she's a person just like I am, so I never got hung up on what your title was. To me, it's weird when people say, "Oh, you're the owner of McDonald's, an operator." Okay, and I have the same problems. I have the same joys like everybody else. So for me, I never looked at it like that. I never looked at it like, I'm the O and the O. And that's not the way I process. It's not the way I move. People are people. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what you have in the bank. I don't care where you've been. People are people. Now, I don't say that disrespectfully, but for me, it was just more important to be open and authentic, and to create real connection. It's very difficult to do that when you are focused on a structure or a role. Be real. I'm real. People know, most of them, not everything, but I feel like that's how you get connection.
Okay. And so before we close out, you famously say people don't want to hear from me.
They don't. I still say that. They don't want to hear from me. Not the 20s and the 30s, right?
People don't. Yeah. I hear that a lot, but I believe that you are a wealth of knowledge. You tell me new stuff every day, and I guess because I'm just watching CNN all day, and I don't know anything. But what do you think going into next year? We talked about one of the things that we rightly picked up on was mental health.
Yes.
And we see it in our restaurants, in our
Oh, my
communities, especially in the Black and brown communities more prevalently. And so I think there is a need for people that have been through it, that have struggled, to say, you know what, I went through it, I made it, and it may look like I'm at the promised land now, but I had to cross a lot of, broken glass to get here. But I kept going. Before we close out, what message would you give people going into the holidays? Coming out of the holidays and then going into January and the new year, just to stay focused, to keep going. And we have so much more to come.
That's an interesting one. Like you said, that focus. What I'm learning is about consistency. We talk about this every day. You don't just go to the gym one day and just lose 100 pounds. You have to go in there day and night. You have to watch what you eat every night. You have to go in there, that gym, every single day.
But you may fail.
You may fail. There are going to be some days when you might go, hey, you know what? I have a whole box of pizza today, but I still got to go back to that gym tomorrow and make it back up. Same thing. Same thing here. Same thing with your job. You're going to come to work every day. There's going to be times when the people are just going to frustrate you. They're going to wear you out. They're going to call out. You're going to be in there by yourself. You're going to be frustrated. But you still got to go and do your systems and routines. You still got to go there and do that job. And it's about staying that focus and just really, really pushing through all that turmoil and looking at the end of the light. You'll see that tunnel, that shine that we're looking for, as you mentioned.
All right.
Yeah.
I think the holidays, depending on who you are, can mean a lot of different things. For some people, they want to get past the holidays because it's a time of loss or they have no one. Me, I love the holidays, right? But it wasn't always like that. And so for me, to answer your question in terms of what advice would I give somebody going into the holidays, I would say, if you feel hopeless, there is something, someone, a group that you find to uplift you, right? I actually am much more introverted than I am extroverted. People would not believe that because I have an outgoing personality. For me, it's journaling. If I feel stress, if I feel unloved, if I feel unappreciated, for me, it's journaling. Figure out what that is for you that brings you solace if you're feeling hopeless. And if you're feeling hopeful, right, that is around connecting with those things or those people that lift that up. For me, it's my husband, it's my children, it's what we're building, and I want that more. And so I guess what I'm saying, a long-winded way to say is figure out what that is, no matter where you're situated in life. And once you figure that out, you start to figure out those ways where you cope and you manage and you get to the other side and you start to feel fulfilled, because that's one of our 7 F's. Andre and I talk about the 7 F's. Fulfillment is a big part of the 7 F's. And it's not about, being happy every day. It's about acknowledging that today's a tough day, but there's tomorrow.
And you keep going. Yeah. Oh, well. So I want to thank you both for laying the foundation for what we're doing. This model is different. Most people tell you that you got a person dedicated to community, you got a person dedicated to this, but we understood, and you guys rightfully understood, that we have to get where the people are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like the way you said that.
Good.
And be intentional about it.
Yeah.
And I believe that we are intentional about everything that we do. But I do want to thank you guys for thinking outside the box. Most people would think that, you know what, I make my money
and keep it pushing.
And keep going.
And keep it pushing, absolutely.
To hell with the community, to hell with the people that work for me. I'll just make the money. But you guys, rightfully so, saw a bigger need that I think will reap dividends in the years to come, that will be reinvested back into the community that we serve, which is the great circle. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for just giving us, the opportunity to come into your homes and into your life. Shine to Inspire wasn't created so that we can inspire those that feel that they have no one and no one is listening, but we are listening. We're so glad that we have you guys on our team. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the year, and Happy New Year. Have a great day.
Holidays.